One of the more important, I would say, not necessarily maybe the most important, but a conversation that comes up. And in fact, I almost have to tell you a story, because it came up the very first time we were doing a demo in a shop. I could tell there's always a group of people that are interested in what's going on, and then sometimes there's some people that aren't as interested in what's going on. In this particular shop we were in, there was one guy kind of hovering around the group. Just I could tell he wasn't necessarily liking what he saw, and the guys were actually welding. I was more of a spectator talking to the owner of the company, and while we were doing that test, this welder walks up next to me and he says, in my ear, just real close, and he says, "So you're here to take my job?" And I thought, wow, okay. And it didn't take long to get there, so that's one thing I wanted to kind of address. It's an elephant in the room in some shops, that sometimes automation, welders don't like automation, because it takes that gun out of their hand, and they feel like that they're going to be replaced by it. And I've been all over the country now, and I've seen a lot of different shops, and here's one thing I've never ran into yet, and it's actually my response in that situation a lot of times, is you show me a shop that's trying to get rid of its best welders, and then I'll accept your premise there that this is going to take your job. But the fact of the matter is it's exactly the opposite. All over this country, people are desperate to find good welders because it's that rare. So I feel like the welding industry is trailing. I'm a machinist by trade, and I know what it was like when I first started in the machine shop. And there was the CNCs were coming on. It was in the early 80s, and there were still a lot of manual machines in the shop, and we were loading programs on what they called tape drives at that time. That's how we got the programs into the machine. And so I was nowhere close to the beginning of the CNC world, but I was in a definite transition phase. Now, if you walk into a machine shop in America, you're going to be hard pressed sometimes to find a manual machine. It's all computer controlled now. And I feel like the welding industry is trailing the machining industry just a little bit. And it won't be long before automation is making a lot of the welds that we make. So ArcBoss, we're soft automation. We still, even though we have, potentiometers there that set speed, width, and pause for our oscillation, and we have a D-pad controller right here that gives you the ability to control those powered slides. One important process, or part of the process, is the welder, the man. It's instead of having a programmer out there, we allow the welder to do it, and he does it in a manner that is very ergonomic and safe. That can't be overstated. I've been in a lot of shops across the country, and the average age of the welder is increasing, quite a bit. And sometimes, we'll have guys in there that have been in the welding industry for 20, 30 years, and those guys, their bodies are, I guess I would say, they don't necessarily need a weatherman to tell them when it's going to rain. That's the truth of the matter. I have my best friend welded for 17 years and walked away. My cousin welded for 17 years and walked away. And that was like, I don't know, both of those situations kind of caused me to go, what? Why would you spend that much time in the industry and then leave it at what would most likely be the height of your capability and earning potential and all that? The reason why they left is because their backs were hurting them, their shoulders were hurting them. They were really starting to feel it in their bodies, and that nagging sensation or idea of, if I keep doing this, I'm gonna really be broke down when I'm old. And so what we at ArcBoss want you to understand is, we're not here to replace you. As a matter of fact, this machine will not work without you. And what we really want this, a scenario, one thing we often say is it's got to be a win-win. It's win-win or no deal. And the win for the welder is really, we want to take the hottest, we want to take the hardest, we want to take the most time-consuming parts of your job, and let's make it to where you're standing in a very safe and ergonomic manner, and you're not tearing up your body in the process, and because when it's all said and done, whenever the money's all been made and it's time to enjoy our life, we want to be in a position then where we can enjoy our life. And it's going to be because, we're taking some of that stress off the welder's body. So nobody's trying to replace you. If you're at the top of your game, you are a very valuable part of any manufacturing company's process. So let's embrace automation. Your body is going to thank you for it.